حي على الفلاح.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. My beloved brothers and sisters, when a person is sinning and they're involved in sin, they sometimes presume that other people are involved in the same sin. I give you an example. And these are going to be live examples that are reality. We don't need to have gloves on and we don't need to sugarcoat things. If a person is quietly watching pornography on a daily basis or regular basis, they begin to look at others and think that these people have a similar problem, not realizing that that is not true. Sometimes a person is quietly committing adultery and they're perhaps having an affair with someone. Perhaps they're on the phone saying things to a non-mahram. Perhaps they might be stealing some money, eating interests. Perhaps they might be quickly doing something that's wrong, maybe gambling, alcohol, weed. Weed is a major problem. And they begin to think that, no, I'm sure these guys are also on weed. You see someone else and you start thinking that they also have the same problem. That is not true. That is not true. Do not judge others based on your actions, your weakness, your sin. And it doesn't mean that others are sinning just because you're sinful. Your standard is not theirs. So don't judge people on your standard of sin, if you get what I'm saying. We're not saying that people don't sin, but we are saying that a weakness is when someone is involved in something, shaitan wants to try and make it fair seeming to them by justifying, don't worry man, everyone's doing it today. You want to get married and someone says, no, you got to go out with her for 1-2 years, make sure everything's, what are you talking about? Yes, it's important to get to know your spouse, but not to the degree where you're earning the wrath of Allah and the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You need to realize that it's not everyone who thinks that way. We are believers. We need to understand what is haram, and by the will of Allah, for as long as it's hidden from your eyes, consider it not happening. That's why the Prophet ﷺ says, people will continue to achieve goodness and the mercy of Allah and forgiveness for as long as the sin they may be committing is not done openly, publicly with pride and arrogance. When a man commits adultery quietly and he tiptoes into the home like no one should see him, it's a bad thing, it's a sin, it's a major sin, yes, but it's not as bad as a person who openly sins in front of everyone. Oh, that's my girlfriend, it's okay, and we're walking and we're cruising and we're entering into a place where people know what's going to be happening. No, my brothers, my sisters, let's not give people reason to doubt us, number one, and let's not doubt others, number two. And if a person has to sin because of human weakness, make sure it's not done publicly and make sure you are not proud of it. And don't ever get used to a sin. Don't get used to it. Because did you know sins are divided into two major categories? It's called a major sin and a minor sin. A major sin are those sins wherein which Allah has mentioned a punishment of. Allah has spoken of its severity. Allah has spoken of a severe punishment in this world and the hereafter, or one of the two of them. That's called a major sin. For example, consumption of intoxicants, for example, the gambling, for example, adultery, and so on. Major sins. Even shirk billah is a major sin. Association of partners with Allah, major sin. And so the other type of sin is a minor sin. And if you take a look at it, when you repeat a minor sin constantly, it automatically becomes major. Not that the sin is major, but the way you are committing it is major. One might argue, no, you know what, watching pornography is a minor sin. Oh, are you sure it's a minor sin? Who told you that? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant everyone forgiveness. And the addiction of it, the addiction is major. Did you hear what we just said? The addiction is major. So my brothers, my sisters, don't you agree the globe is suffering? Don't you agree the world has changed? Don't you agree things are uncertain? Haven't you seen people in their 20s and 30s drop dead? May Allah grant us Jannah the day He takes us away. Your tag and your time is already fixed by Allah. You might not make it out of this masjid, nor may I. But I want to tell you something. Don't you think that we need to improve ourselves to the degree that we inch towards Allah? فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنِّي لَكُمْ مِنْهُ نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. Run and flee towards Allah. Indeed, I am a clear-cut warner to you. That's the Prophet ﷺ instructing us by the instruction of Allah. Run towards Allah. Make haste towards Allah. You don't know. Every day, every breath that you take is one breath closer to your death. Every day that you have passed, you have crossed, is one day closer to your grave. Become a good person. Sins get you nowhere. Ask those who grow older. When they look back at their lives which were sinful, they regret it. It's a gift of Allah that Allah gave you life enough that you look back and you regret. Why did I have to do all of this? What did I achieve by it? Nothing at all. Allah's blessing is that you got older age so that you could look back, reflect. That's a sign of forgiveness of Allah. It's a sign of the love of Allah. He gave you time enough that you consolidated your thoughts in the right direction. أَوَلَمْ نُعَمِّرْكُمْ مَا يَتَذَكَّرُ فِيهِ مَنْ تَذَكَّرُ وَجَاءَكُمُ النَّذِيرُ. Allah says, did we not give you life enough that he who wanted to take heed would have taken heed? And did the grey hair not come to you? Meaning, did the warners not come to you? Did Allah not show you that you're becoming old? Now suddenly your leg is paining. Now you're struggling with your health. Now you're struggling with your libido. Whatever else it may be. May Allah grant us goodness and success. All of that is just a sign from Allah to say, oh man, you're coming back to me. Allahu Akbar. May Allah make it easy for us the day He takes us away. So don't get used to the sin, because I want to tell you something interesting. كَمَا تَحْيَوْنَ تَمُوتُونَ وَكَمَا تَمُوتُونَ تُحْشَرُونَ. The way you led your life is the way you will die. And the way you died is the way you will be resurrected. So if you are not interested in working on your bad habit, you will die in the midst of that bad habit. And when you die in the midst of that bad habit, you are resurrected with the last thing you did. When a man passed away in ihram, the Prophet ﷺ said to his companions, leave him in this state and in this condition. Let him be buried like this. فَإِنَّهُ يُحْشَرُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ مُلَبِّيًا. He will be resurrected on the day of judgment saying, لَبَّيْكَ اللَّهُمَّ لَبَّيْكَ. Imagine, what a death. What a death. You died in a good condition, in ihram. The Prophet ﷺ says, إِنَّهُ يُحْشَرُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ مُلَبِّيًا. This man is going to be resurrected on the day of judgment in this condition while saying, I am at your service, O Allah. I am at your service, O Allah. لَبَّيْكَ اللَّهُمَّ لَبَّيْكَ. Imagine. What a blessed death. You're standing in front of Allah, your hisab is still about to come and you're busy saying, لَبَّيْكَ اللَّهُمَّ لَبَّيْكَ. You are the only one who can say that because you died in the condition. What if you died in another condition? With a bottle, with a throttle? What if you died in another condition? Sitting in front of your phone, all those haram things, nudes. People have a bad habit, a very, very bad habit that needs to be spoken about. More and more people are asking me these questions, and not just me, a lot of the ulama, we speak in our circles. People are becoming absurd. They are taking videos and pictures of themselves in the nude and posting them and sending them sometimes to their own spouses, claiming it's okay. But your phone is hackable. I can hack it for you in 3 seconds. Any phone in this masjid, we can whack it in 3 seconds. We can get into it and take out whatever we want. It's so simple. You just need a little bit of that software and it's over. Aren't you worried? You know why you're worried? Because I told you I can do it. Imagine Rabbul Alameen. For Allah you are not worried, for me you're worried. Right? Look at how weak we are. I'm telling you there is software to knock anybody's phone and to get what you deleted, and you deleted twice and thrice. We can de-encrypt everything in a few seconds for you, and I can show it to you. People are worried, right? There is technology, by the way. I'm not telling a lie. There is technology to that degree. But we're not worried about Allah. But Rabbul Izzati wal Jalal. All I'm saying is just correct your way. You don't need it. Why did you need to video yourself and your own wife doing an intimate act for what? What was it necessary for? How many cases of people on porn sites themselves with their halal spouses, they made their own videos. Someone hacked into the system and found it and sold it and made millions of dollars because of you. You did something silly. It's unnecessary. It is unbefitting a true believer to take those type of videos and images, even if you're trying to justify, to say, you know what, but there was nothing haram happening. Hang on, you're a believer. You don't drop to that level. It's not necessary. It's not needed. You don't need to get a kick out of something of that nature. You get a kick out of turning towards Allah, doing things in a proper, noble way. Why am I saying this? Because sometimes we get used to these type of things, and it becomes so bad that we become addicted. And like I said, you die in that condition. Imagine a person sitting with his phone doing haram things, say for example, watching pornography because it's accessible everywhere. And people are justifying it. No, I only do this so that I can get a kick. It's my version of Viagra. What are you talking about? What type of nonsense is this? We're believers in Allah. If you need help, no problem. You can go and get medication. Don't deny that you need help. It's okay. Many people need help. But this is not the way to help yourself through haram. Thank you so much for listening to this short message. I pray that it has increased you in a little bit of motivation and hope. And the same applies to all of us. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.